In the pre-dawn stillness over the vast Pacific, a chilling question looms larger than ever. If China were to launch its deadliest missile, could the United States possibly stop it in time? The world holds its breath as tensions simmer beneath the surface, and the stakes have never been higher. Two global superpowers, the United States and China, are now locked in a high-stakes technological and military standoff. Their rivalry is not just about economics or influence, but about who holds the ultimate power in a rapidly changing world. The US relies on its billion-dollar missile defense shield, a complex web of radars and interceptors designed to protect the homeland. Meanwhile, China wields the formidable DF-41 intercontinental ballistic missile, capable of carrying multiple nuclear warheads across continents at incredible speeds. This isn't just a technical debate between engineers and generals, it's a scenario that could decide the fate of millions of ordinary people living in cities across both nations. The consequences of failure are almost unimaginable. The US-China rivalry has become the world's most dangerous flashpoint, with massive nuclear arsenals casting a long, ominous shadow over contentious issues like Taiwan and the South China Sea. Every move is watched, every signal analyzed for signs of escalation. The DF-41 is more than just a weapon, it's a symbol of China's growing challenge to American military dominance, a statement that the balance of power is shifting in unpredictable ways. Imagine the White House Situation Room. Satellites suddenly detect a missile launch, computers confirm multiple warheads are inbound, and the president is forced to make an impossible choice in mere minutes. The world teeters on the edge of disaster. The effectiveness of America's missile shield is the razor-thin line between tense peace and unimaginable catastrophe. Every second counts, and every decision could mean the difference between survival and devastation. In this video, we'll break down the capabilities of the DF-41, examine America's layered defenses, and explore the terrifying logic of mutual assured destruction that has kept the peace so far. Ultimately, the only true victory is preventing this nightmare scenario from ever unfolding. Diplomacy, dialogue, and arms control remain humanity's best hope for a future free from the shadow of nuclear war. The Dongfeng 41, or DF-41, is China's ultimate nuclear deterrent. With a range up to 15,000 kilometers, it can strike any US city from deep inside China. Each DF-41 carries up to 10 independently targetable warheads, MIRVs, meaning one missile can threaten multiple cities at once. It's equipped with decoys and penetration aids, designed to overwhelm and confuse missile defenses. Mobility is key. The DF-41 is road and rail mobile, hiding in tunnels or blending with civilian traffic, making it nearly impossible to target before launch. This mobility ensures China's ability to retaliate no matter what. The DF-41's combination of range, MIRVs, decoys, and mobility makes it a nightmare for any defense system. It's not just hardware. It's the embodiment of China's nuclear strategy: survive, retaliate, and deter. The DF-41 is the spear pointed at the heart of any adversary. To counter threats like the DF-41, the US relies on the Ground-Based Mid-Course Defense, or GMD. GMD is America's only shield against intercontinental ballistic missiles, aiming to intercept warheads in space, hitting a bullet with a bullet. The system uses a global network of satellites and radars to detect launches, track warheads, and distinguish them from decoys. 44 interceptors are deployed in Alaska and California, ready to launch at a moment's notice. Each interceptor carries a kill vehicle designed to collide with and destroy incoming warheads. But GMD was built for limited threats, not a massive attack from a major power. In tests, it succeeded just over half the time, and those tests didn't include advanced decoys like the DF-41S. With only 44 interceptors, the system could be quickly overwhelmed by a large-scale attack. America's shield is impressive, but far from impenetrable. Imagine the unthinkable. A crisis over Taiwan spirals out of control, escalating beyond diplomatic repair. The world holds its breath as tensions reach a boiling point. In a bold and aggressive move, China launches 10 DF-41 missiles, each equipped with 3 warheads and a dozen decoys, targeting critical US military and strategic sites across the globe. US satellites, ever vigilant, detect the launches immediately. Radars track a chaotic swarm of 150 objects, 30 real warheads and 120 decoys, creating a complex web of threats. The Ground-Based Mid-Course Defense (GMD) system faces a daunting task. It must instantly decide which objects are real threats and which are mere distractions, a decision that could alter the course of history. In response, 44 interceptors are launched into the night sky, but with so many targets, the choices are grim and fraught with peril. If 2 interceptors are fired at each likely warhead, only 22 can be engaged, leaving 8 potentially deadly warheads untouched, a chilling prospect. Even with a generous 70% success rate, the presence of decoys and the ensuing confusion means several warheads will inevitably get through, causing catastrophic damage. The likely result is devastating. Multiple American cities could be destroyed, millions of lives lost, and an inevitable massive US retaliation would follow, plunging the world into chaos. The nightmare scenario unfolds: a full-scale global nuclear war, a cataclysmic event that could alter the fabric of civilization. This scenario starkly illustrates the terrifying limits of missile defense systems, highlighting their inability to guarantee safety against a determined, sophisticated attack. No shield, no matter how advanced, can offer complete protection. The reality is sobering and demands urgent attention. The numbers simply don't add up in America's favor, painting a grim picture of vulnerability in the face of overwhelming odds. The world's fate could hinge on a few critical minutes and a few flawed intercepts, underscoring the precariousness of our current global security landscape. For decades, China maintained a relatively modest nuclear arsenal, just enough to guarantee it could retaliate if attacked. This approach, known as minimum deterrence, meant China kept its nuclear forces small, hidden, and on low alert, signaling that its weapons were for defense, not aggression. But now, that strategy is changing dramatically. China is rapidly expanding its nuclear forces, constructing hundreds of new missile silos across its vast western deserts. These massive construction projects, visible even from space, mark a significant shift in China's military posture. Analysts estimate that at this pace, China could possess as many as 1,000 nuclear warheads by 2030, bringing it much closer to the numbers held by the United States and Russia, the world's 2 largest nuclear powers. This would be a historic leap for China's nuclear capabilities. Why is China making this move? Chinese leaders worry that their smaller nuclear force could be neutralized by new US technologies, like precision-guided missiles and advanced missile defense systems. They fear losing their ability to retaliate, which is the core of nuclear deterrence. By building more silos, China is creating a complex shell game. Adversaries would have to target every silo, not knowing which ones actually contain missiles and which are decoys. This makes a preemptive strike much more difficult and risky. A larger, more dispersed arsenal gives China greater flexibility and confidence in its nuclear deterrent. It also allows for more options in a crisis, making it harder for any opponent to eliminate China's nuclear forces in a single blow. This nuclear expansion is just one part of China's broader push to become a true global military peer to the United States, especially as tensions rise over flashpoints like Taiwan and the South China Sea. But this rapid buildup is also deeply destabilizing. It's fueling a new arms race in Asia and increasing the risk of miscalculation or accidental conflict between nuclear-armed states. Each side's efforts to strengthen its own security end up making the other feel less safe, creating a dangerous cycle of escalation and mistrust. As a result, the world is entering a new, more unpredictable nuclear era, one where the risks and uncertainties are higher than they've been in decades. The US isn't standing still. The Pentagon is developing the Next Generation Interceptor, or NGI, to replace the current GMD system. NGI will be designed to counter missiles with multiple warheads and advanced decoys like the DF-41. Each NGI may carry multiple kill vehicles able to target several threats at once, a potential game-changer. Upgraded sensors and new space-based satellites will improve tracking and discrimination of real warheads from fakes. The first NGIs are expected by the late 2020s, with more interceptors and better coverage. But these upgrades are costly, complex, and unproven against the most advanced threats. Critics warn that over-reliance on missile defense could fuel the arms race, as adversaries build more missiles to overwhelm the shield. There's no guarantee technology alone can solve the nuclear dilemma. The race between offense and defense is far from over. For 70 years, nuclear peace has rested on mutual assured destruction, MAD. If both sides can retaliate after a first strike, nuclear war becomes unwinnable for everyone. Submarines, mobile launchers, and silo fields ensure that no one can destroy all of an adversary's weapons in a surprise attack. China's nuclear buildup is about guaranteeing its own second strike capability, making sure it can always retaliate. This means any US president must assume that even a limited strike on China would bring devastating retaliation. Even if missile defense works, a single warhead slipping through could trigger all-out war. The logic of MAD is brutal, but it's kept the peace so far. The system is designed so that once the first nuclear weapon is used, escalation is almost automatic. MAD is a grim safeguard, but it's the only one we have.
Know you've been a good friend.
The most powerful tool against nuclear war isn't a missile, it's diplomacy. Dialogue, arms control, and crisis communication are essential to prevent misunderstandings and manage tensions. During the Cold War, the US and Soviet Union built hotlines and signed treaties to limit arsenals and avoid catastrophe. Today, the US and China lack this kind of arms control framework. China's rapid buildup makes dialogue more urgent than ever. Bringing China to the table is difficult but necessary to increase transparency and reduce risks. Even small steps, like pre-launch notifications or crisis hotlines, can build trust. Diplomats are on the front lines of preventing the unthinkable. The future of nuclear peace depends on their success. We've explored the terrifying duel between China's DF-41 and America's missile shield. The answer to, can the US stop China's deadliest missile, is sobering. Probably not all of them. No defense is perfect. A determined attack would almost certainly break through. The real lesson, there's no technical fix for nuclear weapons, only diplomacy and deterrence. Relying on missile defense alone is a dangerous illusion that fuels arms races and increases risk. The only way to win a nuclear war is to ensure it never happens. That means building stronger relationships, robust arms control, and relentless diplomacy. The fate of the world depends not on interceptors in space, but on the wisdom of leaders here on Earth. In the nuclear age, the only true victory is peace.